Akshay Kumar was the first Rakshas, first one to be killed by Lakshman. That is the clue you can use. Haram haram kore Rakshasa nichoy. Bolo dekhi Mahashoy eki kore hoy. One important thing I would like to share at the very beginning. What is your expectation of IKS? Have you heard of this, any of you, including faculty members? Yes? This is in short form, in abbreviation, Indian knowledge system. So the method I will be changing today. What will be the method? I will be having multimedia exposure for this particular Indian knowledge system because I know it is available around all the corners of India. So dear friends, we don't have much time to interact today, but I would be putting forth few references. If possible, please maintain those references and try to work on that. Dear friends, without your cooperation, it is really a hard task. I cannot do that. 7,000 years in 30 minutes. Try to understand this problem. And at the same time, I would be moving spiral, not in linear method. Otherwise, it would be a problem. I would be moving diachronically and synchronically. Means moving in the timeline as well as moving with reference to your GPS system. So that's why please be careful to note down because few passing references I will be keeping. What is the first idea that you have got from Dholavera, one particular site already discovered by ASI, in the last century. And people haven't stopped working on that. Yes, that's required. Lights are required. Because we would be proceeding from ignorance to knowledge. And in Indian knowledge system, knowledge is always metaphorically presented as light. So that's why whenever we see in our earlier scriptures, most of the things these are only for the passing reference. The first thing that is very much important to us, that is the Vedas. All of you have heard the name? Yes or no? Just tell in yes and no, that will be sufficient. You have already heard about the Vedas, right? How many Vedas are there? 4, so good. And what about the Upanishads? Do you know the difference in between the Vedas and the Upanishads? Ends, very good. Okay, very good. Ends of Vedas. So ends, what is your expectation at the ends? That is one meaning possible. I would be referring to Sanskrit language. Are you comfortable with Sanskrit? No, okay, no problem. I will be providing, English translation. You may find it's better than Google translation. Okay, I will try to. If I use other than English, I will try to translate it. But you have to understand the essence of that. That is very much important. How many of you have heard the name of Upanishad? It's Arabic and Parsi. Have you heard about Arabic and Parsi? They are also very strong language. Yes or no? Yes. Very good. And you see, Upanishads, 5 Upanishads of India were translated first in Parsi by no other than a Mughal prince. Can you guess? Who was that prince? You see, Ashoka was not Mughal. Yes. Because of his greatness, you may equate with Mughal Empire. That is possible. Akbar, someone told, but it's not the correct answer. The correct answer is Dara Shikoh. Have you heard the name? The prince who was converted to a philosopher. You see, such wonders are possible in India only. Try to understand. And most interestingly, those 5 Upanishads traveled to Latin, traveled to French, and it was translated in Latin as Upanikhat. Please remember that. How it passed to Latin and to French, don't ask me, because it would take time. What is most interesting for you, who was the philosopher behind Einstein, your relativity master? Only physics couldn't give that Nobel Prize to him. Try to understand this. And that particular mission was guided by Schopenhauer. Have you heard the name? Yes or no? German philosopher of the 18th century. And 19th century, first half, you have got so many influences like Leibniz and others. Later on you can connect. And Einstein was deeply influenced not only by Schopenhauer, for whom reading Upanishad daily was a routine. And if you follow the noble lecture of Einstein, he started with the reference of Indian sages. Dear friends, it's really, unthinkable for us that in India we are living, getting all facilities over here, still we are forgetful about the past. Engineers need to think other than what or how you can use your technology with reference to the reconstruction of the past. I will be putting one passing reference very recently to the 2018. One Indian, very notable Indian, Professor Rajesh Rao. Have you heard the name? No, these names are not that much important for you. But he was a neuroscientist, you see, by trade, by profession, and posted in Washington University. He has recently worked on Indus Valley economics, 2018. If you search, you can easily see. And he has referred to Dholabera side that we have referred. One important thing I will be passing. So many tablets you can get to see in Dholabera, the size is just like your pen drive. Check that. What Professor Rajesh Rao did, he used AI and pattern recognition to understand the script of Dholabera, because only one signboard that they got at Dholabera, it is still undeciphered. Dear friends, try to use your technical skill to put forth some light on that. Okay? There are so many conjectures, but don't go by the conjecture. Do it experimentally. What Rajesh Rao did, please pass on to the next. Okay. So one particular reference that I will be putting over here between Smriti and the Sutras. Have you heard about both Smriti and Sutras? Smriti like Manusmriti, you can see the documentation. Jaggobalko Smriti, have you heard about? Yes or no? What is the difference between Smriti and Smriti? Because the other name of the Vedas, this is called Shruti. How and why, we will be discussing if time permits. Otherwise, you need to refer that Smriti are the presentation from memory. Please remember. Because whatever you as a student can remember, if you show us that these were the things that were given, then you can easily be part of the Shruti literature of India. And all of them are written in Sanskrit. I won't be passing all those, but whenever I feel that there is a particular phrase or word which is very important, I will be definitely passing to. And sutras you all know, because that has been, originally from Sanskrit, but it has already got into the framework of all the regional languages. I will be passing that. Sutras you know, definitely, that you call formula. So these are nothing but the Sanskrit formula or the formulaic presentation of the Sritis. One important, that is of Bodhayana Sutra. Very, very important. If you get time, English translation is available, so you can get into that. And especially one particular Sriti that I will be referring to, Manusriti, which is a much debatable literature because of what you know, because of few comments about the women. So that's why there was a tendency not to see Manusriti. Please remember that. But he was not interpreted properly. So there is scope of interpretation. In one particular, please refer to. You see, have you heard about riddle? Yes or no? Riddle? Have you heard? Yes or no? There can be categorical answer. Riddle you know. Anybody read Shakespeare? Raise your hands. Most of you. Or Bernard Shaw even. Right. Very good. In Shakespeare Macbeth, there is one riddle. That is number riddle. Have you decoded it? I am referring to Act 1, Scene 1. The witches' scene. How many witches were there? 3. Very good. And there was one description. 3 rounded 3. So, what is your calculation? 3 rounded to 3. Dear friends, don't forget, these are all from Vedic mathematics. 3 into 3. What is the number? You are so good in mathematics. 9. And 9 is a magic number. Do you believe it or not? Yes or no? First. Yes. No.
Yes.
Now, yes. Okay. Very good. Now you just multiply 9 into 1. What is the value? 9 into 2. What is the value if you add? You go to 9 into 12. Add the value. Wherever you would go, the added value would be 9 only. You see, invented by Vedic mathematics. And the concept of 0, that you are so very much eager with the binary equation 0 and 1, invented in Vedic mathematics. The problem is, they were exported to Latin first, Persia, then to Latin, then to French and to German. Please remember that. That's a problem with us. Because we are not very much aware about to document things. This is a problem with Indians. Problems I won't be discussing right now. You see, whom would you expect? You had a good session on patent also. Whom would you expect that patent should be for India for basmati rice? Whom would you get? The patent for basmati rice? India didn't claim for. And what happened? Malaysia got the basmati rice. Recent event, 1992, one American scientist claimed that turmeric, the medicinal quality of turmeric, is his invention and filed patent, got patent off. Now you see, For 8 years, India had to fight to establish that turmeric is originally Indian. This is a problem. And that's why so many things exported outside and you got it as Pythagoras geometry. Whatever you have got as Pythagoras geometry is originally of Indian, especially reference to the Rig and with the medicinal properties of things. Ayurveda is still used in so many families of India. Please remember that. So what happens? We are not very much aware about documentation. So that's why some other countries get the valid record of it. I would be just referring to a riddle. So what was the riddle in Macbeth? Someone was telling about. You try to solve the riddle. One riddle was there that Macbeth can never be killed by a man born of a woman. Dear friends, I won't be interpreting anything right now because it is not the right platform for that. We are doing eye gaze. We are referring to one riddle I myself faced decades ago. One pretty woman one day came to me and introduced herself. You try, later on I would try to help. What she told? You try to solve this riddle. She told, Saso Saso Mahesaso Nissase Pralayagni Sajati Kalaha Viddam Tasmai Kula Sandha. Can you detect that? From which family that particular woman came? Very pretty woman, attractive one. You see, decades ago, she came and established her identity. Do you understand the riddle that is captured in it? Yes or no? Dear friends, please remember, whenever a particular language or literature comes to a very developed phase, only then riddle can come. As I quoted from Macbeth, I can quote from Romeo and Juliet also, Act 2, Scene 2. What was the question? What's in a name? Romeo, oh Romeo. You can remember those who have read Romeo and Juliet. Dear friends, the concept of words in a name and form, it's originally Indian. Because only one guy I saw that he answered well. When I asked, with reference to your imagery, I was also dealing that do you feel you are not the body? Yes or no? Do you feel, how many of you feel you are not just the body? Body is there, okay? But you are not just the body. And that's why in India we have got the reference of Adi Shankaracharya. How many of you have heard that? Adi Shankaracharya? Have you heard the name? No. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of you have heard? Oh, so good. So good. Because of Bengal, right? Okay, good association with Bengal. But you see, you have to touch that core. How many of you know that Buddhism was also patented in Tibet and in China? Chinese Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism. Have you heard of that? That has already been patented. And you see where it was actually that Buddhism took shape in India, even 8-year-old students know that. Yes or no? But you see the patent over there. That's very important for you. Okay, let us pass to one important thing over here. We will be referring to later on. Okay, please. Pass it to the next. The age of the Vedas, you have already told that you know that. I only wanted to refer the reference point of the Rig Veda, the Sam Veda, the Yajur Veda, and you will already know that. Okay, that what is the value that even Atharva Veda is right now giving to medical school. Proceed to the next. The age of the Upanishads you have already got. Now check. There is one particular reference in Chandogya Upanishad. That thou art. Have you heard about it? And those who have read Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 3, you have found Caesar's remark about Brutus, A to Brut. Have you read Julius Caesar? 1601. You see, Chandogya Upanishad done 3500 BC. That means the added value today more than 5000 years ago. You see, the concept is inverted directly by no other than Shakespeare. And how many of you have read The Tempest of Shakespeare? 1611. Yes. There you may find one description of Ariel. Yes or no? Ariel? Have you got the description of Ariel? Yes or no? No. No problem. Have you read The Tempest? Okay. And you have got the reference of Ceres and Ares. They were brought to prosperous place for marriage ceremony. And that very marriage ceremony is depicted in Kalidas Kumar Sambhav. How many of you have heard about Kumar Sambhav? Have you heard? If you get time, please get into that. Okay. There is a very nice description that what should be the behavior of a bride. Yes, some of you are already thinking of what would be the behavior. Now in Kumar Sambhav, there is one great reference of Parvati who would be given in marriage to no other than Lord Shiva. And what she was doing? She was just throwing petals of a lotus one by one. Any metaphorical communication do you get from here? If you throw away petals one by one from a lotus, what is the metaphorical significance? A bride is trying to snap all the connections to her paternal. Try to understand that, Kumar Sambhav. And I would also be very glad to see that in Upanishad, whatever you have got, our romantic worshipper Wordsworth, how many of you have heard the name? William Wordsworth. Very good. Let us just click that link. See that. Yes. See that. From 1770 to 1850, that is your Wordsworth's time. And this was written in Lucy series with reference to the plan Brooklyn. That is the name of the place. Go to the second page. Later on you can consult on this second page. Just a second. Yes. This is the last poem of the Lucy series, where it has been clearly depicted that he has got the concept from Jagrata Susupti. Have you heard about Jagrata Swapna Susupti? One very rich text by Shankaracharya. Later on you will be showing a clip of that also for your understanding. So to the next. No time for interpretation. You can do it at home. Yes. Have you heard about Kaushiki Upanishad? You haven't heard because Darashuko's translation didn't contain that. That's very important. Okay? And the commentaries that Darashuko made in the Persian language, you may understand, even in today, I got the help of English translation only to decode that. That is also possible for you. Proceed to the next. Yes. Here we have noted something very interesting. Have you heard about Upanishad? Have you heard? Upanishad? No. Have you heard one important slogan maintained by Ramakrishna Mission? Yes or no? No, no problem at all. The English translation you have heard. What is the original one? That's very important from Upanishad, as Vivekananda translated a part of that for the Western audience. Please remember that. What is the reference point? You have all heard. That's from Upanishad. What is that? Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. Have you heard or not? Famous. If you have go through, or you have to go through Vivekananda's series of talks to understand the meaning of that, and that has been taken from Upanishad. Innovation that is already there with the old system. Why IKs in engineering you can understand? Because engineers can reconstruct the past. Here, I would be showing you one document by ASI. Have you heard the name of ASI? Any of you? Archaeological Survey of India. Our alumni are also working over there. So, engineers are required for the reconstruction of the past. Okay? Do you think that engineers are required to reconstruct the past? Yes or no? Let us see how engineers can help us to understand the past that is already embedded or maybe under 2-3 miles of decay. So let us see, just put that. Listen to carefully and see also. In the south, the seawater moves onto land and covers it up completely, while during the winters, the water is received, leaving behind stretches of white sheets that look like snow. Only, it isn't snow, but tons and tons of salt, left behind by the sea waters. And herein, under the shimmering land of the Run, is a city in deep slumber for over 5,000 years. A civilization waiting to be rediscovered. A futuristic metropolis of the past. Discovered as recently as 1967, Novacle
believed that the rulers lived in the upper town, also called as the Citadel, which had majestic mansions and was fortified with huge walls. Just behind on the western side was the bailey, allotted to the people working in the Citadel from the royal family. To the north of the Citadel was the middle town, where the well-to-do class people must have lived, as is evident from the neat arrangement of the spacious houses. The third part of the city was the lower town, which was Novacle.
Have you got the essence of this? Dear friends, Akshay Kumar was the first Rakshas, first one to be killed by Lakshman. That is the clue you can use. Haram haram kore Rakshas nichor. বলো দেখি মহাশয় একই করে হয় think the riddle can give you the clue of the development in the language and the literature, and from the Mahabharata, please pass to the next. Now see the reference of what we have referred over here, that is how the architecture was there for the temple architecture especially. Okay? And here I will be sharing just few minutes with this temple architecture. Please be seated. What happened last? Temple architecture is past that.
At L'Oreal Group, 57% of our ingredients were bio-based in 2021. This is how we create the beauty that moves the world.